Welcome to BigGunner81 Live, everybody, where we measure the time not by the sands through the hourglass, but by the length of the cigar. You can see Pete's got a cigar there.
We've got about 59 minutes to go.
Awesome. So welcome, everybody. Big shout out to our supporters and sponsors. We got BAT Arms, Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks, Eggleston Munitions. If you're a reloader, check out their projectiles. They're awesome price point and great for target shooting and so forth. And also, of course, Spin to Precision. If you're looking for barrels, your AR, your Glock, or even a slide. I've got actually got my slide sitting on my desk still. I haven't done anything with it yet, but that's in the works. And they also have AR-15 components and so forth. So check out spintoprecision.com. So go ahead and welcome everybody. Of course, we've got Pete Negro from the Range 35 in the house. Welcome, Pete. We've got this little blue guy on the screen, which is Matt from Grunt Style, with us as well.
Hi there,
Matt. Hey, Matt. Thanks for being with us. If you want to see what he looks like, you can check out some of our previous videos. But unfortunately, his webcam's acting tonight.
Yeah, sorry for the camera issues.
Hey, it happens, And also Thomas, welcome. I'm going to see if I can say it right. Doing? Alpha Concepts Firearms Training.
You got it right, buddy.
I always miss the firearms, I think, on this. I always want to say Alpha Concepts Training because it just seems like, short and sweet. But anyway, welcome, everybody. I don't have a whole ton of stuff to go over tonight. It's been kind of a long day, but I know we're going to talk about the Range 35 and the two-gun run that's coming up in just a little over like a week and a half or so.
Yep, October 7th.
Cool. First, I want to give a big thank you to Thomas as well. We one of the things like running channel and doing all the things that we do, can't do it without the support of you guys out there watching and everything. Not just from the viewership and the clicking the like button and all that kind of stuff and sharing the videos, but even to our supporters that send out like through Patreon and contribute that way. Which if you want to check that out, it's patreon.com/BigGunner81. And one of the things I came across recently that I needed some help with was video storage. So I use a lot of USB drives to store my videos on. For those that don't know, this is just, for example, some of the expenses that go along with making videos and stuff. I want to save, my own backups and not just rely on the YouTube server that, at some point in time when they decide that they don't want to do any gun content, they want to wipe out all your stuff. I want to have backups, so I have a lot of USB drives and so forth, but they get filled up pretty quick. And it's an expense, so I put a shout out to see if anybody had an extra hard drive laying around or something that I could use. And Thomas has one, so he's sending one out. So I appreciate that for the help with that.
You got it in the mail tomorrow.
Awesome, thank you. And also I want to give a shout out to the guys over at We Like Shooting. We were on their show like I think close to 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. Time flies by so fast. And they were nice enough to bring me on to talk about the 50 States of AR-15 project. And through that, we've actually got some more subscribers and things. But more importantly, we've got a lot of viewers out there that have offered to help with different things. Whether it's trying to help find and source some of the companies that are in a certain state. We've gotten some contact on those kinds of things. But also, one of my challenges that I've had was getting a website put together for the 50 States project. Right now, I have the BigGunner81 site, which is basically a WordPress site that I put together myself. And I have registered the domain names, the 50 States of AR-15.com and the 50 States of AR-15.com. But they just basically link to a page on the BigGunner81 blog. So, in other words, I want to do something different. We're kind of looking at some options. We're not quite there yet with this because it takes some time to kind of develop a website and kind of put it together. And of course I'm relying heavily on the help of a volunteer and so forth, and anyone who wants to volunteer to help with it, that is. So right now we have a separate WordPress page put in place, but there's really nothing on it just yet. It's not really the template and the layout of it's not put together yet. Some of the ideas I've had, and if I can get it done, I'd love to do it, is to put something together that maybe like it might be a template that could be used for something like a travel site or something, but basically a layout of the United States where you can click on a state and then I'll bring you to a separate little page which would have the videos for that state along with, some of the different photos and the specs, so to speak, and maybe some of the stories and also the interviews from the companies that we were able to meet with and do interviews with to share all that, like for each state broken down by state. So, I got gentleman that came through listening to the We Like Shooting podcast contacted me, and he's looking to help out with that. So hopefully we'll get some progress on that, and I'm really excited about that. And he's excited about it, so I appreciate all that and all the support from everybody out there watching. So other than that, I don't have a whole lot right now. We filmed a good portion of the Ohio rifle build. After we get to take that out to the range and test it out, we'll be finishing editing that video. So we got that one going. We're working on a few other builds right now as well, but we also have the Iraq Veteran 8888 shoot coming up, actually the same weekend as the two-gun run. So unfortunately, we won't be at the two-gun run this time, but we're going to do something new and hopefully get some good footage to share with all of you out there to see what the range day is like. So with that being said, I don't know if Pete or if Matt, if one of you guys want to kind of talk about some of the stuff you had going on with the two-gun run.
Matt, since he's doing the lion's share of the planning on it.
There you go.
Well, like a lot of people who follow your channel have seen me on here before. We've put a couple matches on. Is this 4 for us now, Pete? At the range of 355?
This is the 4th.
This is the 4th one. So yeah,
that's right. I went to 2 and I missed one.
Yeah, they've been super successful in the past. We've had a great outpouring of support, not only from the shooters that come, but the companies who have supported the price table with it. With that, it's allowed us to open up our doors for the charity aspect for it too. So once again, we're doing a charity. We're going to be donating proceeds to Mission 22. It's a veteran organization that we will be donating some of the proceeds from the match. And I've actually gotten to know a lot of these guys, and they do a lot of work with veteran suicide. So obviously with our company being so veteran focused, that it was really kind of a no-brainer for us to donate to these guys. It's a good organization, and we're happy to have them part of it. They're doing a lot of planning and a lot of the volunteering and helping and things like that on range day. So, I think that it's really going to be a great match. Obviously, we're having it at the range of 355, so it can't get much better than that.
Thanks. Hey, and I'll say kudos to Grunt Style, because this is the second time out of the 4. The first one we were trying to figure it out. But last fall we did the 100 Club at Grunt Style's gracious urging. So we did the 100 Club, who helps the families of fallen firefighters and police officers in the Metro Chicago area. Unfortunately, we've had the opportunity to see firsthand just exactly what they do. And now with Mission 22, it's, typical Grunt Style to try to help the community.
That's awesome. So for those that don't know, where can they register for this event?
So they can go, and what I'll end up doing is I'll end up messaging you so you can share it somehow. But there's an Eventbrite page where they can purchase their ticket. Ticket is $100. I know it seems steep for a lot of people, especially those who've came to the last matches. Part of that being is that we have catered food this time. Last time it was not catered. It was the doing of myself, and it was a debacle. So we're always improving. So that was the one thing. We're bringing Johnny Van back, and we're gonna have some of his amazing barbecues. So can't vouch for him enough. So
hey, Matt, wasn't a debacle, except I missed out on chow because I was messing around too long over at the bourbon table or whatever.
Nice. So I will say though, don't sell it short when you say $100, and it's kind of a lot, because you go to a lot of different shooting matches and you can spend, if it's a regional match, you're going to spend over $200, maybe $2 something just on that. Plus you got to usually travel to it and whatnot. And this is kind of like you could travel this event, of course, but it is also kind of like a local event in a sense.
It definitely is. We do have people coming from really kind of around the country. I know we've got, I should say around the Midwest. We've got people coming from Minnesota, Southern Illinois, obviously the Chicagoland area. We'll have people people from Michigan and Indiana that are coming in for it. So I think our furthest away is going to be in from Georgia. So
wow,
I mean,
yeah, and
people are traveling for this match.
Yeah, and I would be one of them, unfortunately, but with the Iraq Veteran 88 shoot being the same weekend, that just made more sense to get to go to that event and try that out.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I say that is the expense. I'm a lot closer to Georgia than I am to Illinois right now.
Yeah, that's a good experience too.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to bring that and share that, and kind of like share something different that we haven't done yet from the channel. But I will also say too, like you mentioned, catering. There's value to it. Like, a lot of local matches that don't have catering, they don't have prizes, and you could spend easily $30 to $60, depending if it's like a really small match with no prizes, nothing. It could be around $30. If it for just like a regular, maybe a pistol match or something simple. This is a 2-gun run. You've got food, you got prizes, and we say prizes. I know you can share more about what you have, but I know the last one there were some guns that got given away. I mean, when I say some, I mean like there was 6, I think, or 7. I don't remember the exact count.
Yep. So that's been kind of a big selling feature for a lot of, especially the amateurs. So the big thing that we did with this one is we split it up into a pro-am format. Now, different pro-ams that you go to, you may have different courses of fire. Obviously, with us being kind of limited on space, with it being an indoor range and only having obviously so much room, obviously the stages are going to be the same for the pros and the amateur side. We've made it difficult enough for the pros to where it's not just an easy walk-through course of fire, but we've also made it not too difficult so an amateur can get in and experience possibly their first match and really have a good time with it. The way that I like to sell a lot of matches, and I do this because I'm getting my brother. My brother's been to a couple matches with me. My father is starting to get into it. I kind of sell it as, hey, this is a dynamic range day. You're not just sitting in a lane and shooting at paper that's 30, 60, 70 feet, or at an outdoor range, 50, 25, 50, 100 yards down the road. It's something that you're moving and shooting that, really a lot of people don't get to experience, and it can be difficult sometimes for them to, find a range if they don't have a lot of land or property, but also, kind of get over that fear of, well, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. So
right. It's very true. And I got a couple questions for you too. Now, will there be holsters being required too? For those that are new?
We are not doing holsters. We have a couple of things where we will be picking up a pistol, something that will be unloaded, but we're not drawing from the holsters.
Okay, awesome. That's definitely beneficial for those that are new to competitive shooting and stuff, because one of the easiest things if you're new to this, I wouldn't say easiest things. One of the concerns, I guess, is if you're new to competitions and you're dealing with a holstered pistol that might be hot and you're drawing from it and so forth. That's a good case to have something happen that you don't want to happen with someone new. So I like that idea too. For those that are new that are coming into that you're not required to do any type of holster drawing and so forth, and not dealing with a pistol holster and all that. So that's excellent.
Exactly. One of the things that I really like about I'm a fairly new competition shooter myself, and I was a guy that went out and spent a lot of money and got all of the equipment needed to go out there and compete. What's really nice about the 3-gun community, especially, is that if you don't have something, somebody else will lend it to you. Another big kind of selling point for this match that we're doing is that I will have all of my gear there. So if anybody wants to try something, if anybody needs something to shoot, whether it be a pistol, whether it be a rifle, I will have all of my gear that I will graciously lend out to anybody who needs it. So if you want to try a competition but you don't have a rifle or you don't have a pistol, don't let that hold you back. Register for the match, and someone there will, if it's not myself, someone there will lend you their equipment. I'm not going to buy the ammo for you, but
right, of course, that's a whole other thing. Exactly, but that's very true. I mean, I've ran into that too, where people have lent me equipment and stuff in the past, and I had someone that ran their pistol had issues, and I've offered them mine and so forth to use, and whatnot. So definitely the 3-gun community is full of great people. The whole gun industry is full of great people.
Yep.
And that's part of like the 50 States Project, just sharing that with people, that side of it, and sharing America's rifle and everything. So what else going to mention about this too is so we talk about that and talk about the value on it, what you're kind of getting out of the experience for it. And for those who haven't seen what these stages kind of look like, I've got some videos from some of the previous matches, but again, those are the earlier matches. So, every time they have one, it progresses. The stages keep getting better and better and everything. And I know Matt mentioned about, it's dynamic shooting. You're not stuck in a booth shooting at a piece of paper that's not moving and so forth. I don't think you guys are having moving targets necessarily, but sometimes in competition you do encounter a moving target. But you're usually oftentimes moving during competition, so you're not stuck in that booth. You're moving around. You got different targets, different angles to shoot at. It makes it more exciting. That was one of the things when I got into shooting. More. And I really started it back in. I was a kid. I shot shotgun and stuff, but I didn't really do a lot of shooting until about 2010, 12, somewhere around there. And I bought my first firearm that I purchased for myself was my Colt LE6920, my first AR-15. And, I started taking it to indoor range. Yeah, 25 yards, you start to learn as you learn about this rifle. 25 yards is like nothing. This is like, okay, it's loud, it's cool, it can hold 30 rounds, I can take a bunch of shots at this paper, and you start, eating out the center of the target, whatever, and you're like, that's about it. There's no real practice to it. You almost feel like you're wasting your time going indoor range with it. So I was watching on my Facebook, and I came across a video from a friend of mine where he was out at Aurora Sportsman's Club, and he was doing a shooting where he's all in camouflage and stuff, and wearing his gear and whatnot, and kicking down this door and knocking over these barrels and shooting at targets. And I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun, not necessarily whether you're dressing up in tactical gear or not, but the idea of getting to move and shoot and go through barricades and things and stuff. And not every competition has barricades necessarily. That's more of like a practical rifle, which is what that was, or like more of a tactical type competition, I guess the way to kind of put it. A lot of 3-guns, they have some obstacles and things, but it's a little bit different how you approach some of these things. But needless to say, getting off track a little bit, getting to see that moving and shooting out there in a range, outdoors especially, it's a totally different dynamic than standing in a booth shooting. And this is also where you're able to move and shoot. And even though it's an indoor range, you're getting to move and shoot throughout the range. You're not just stuck in a booth somewhere. There is some movement to it and everything. And that's pretty awesome. One last thing I'm going to mention too, or one thing I was going to mention, not last thing, but at least in this conversation, I want to give a shout out to Sean out there in the live chat. For those of you watching or listening to this show after it's already been live, one of the benefits of listening to us live is that you can comment in the live chat, both on YouTube along with the side of the video. There's a live chat if you're logged into YouTube, and over on gunchannels.com/BigGunner81. Gonna give a shout out to DT Pfeiffer, I think is how you say it. He's out there watching over on Gun Channels as well. Appreciate you guys and your support for tuning in and kind of hanging out and watching what we do every week. That's always awesome. I saw the mention of Knob Creek. You're talking about the and the side chat or the live chat.
Side chat and bourbon over here.
Yes. So this Knob Creek, isn't that also the machine gun shoot as well?
Is it?
You guys know, I think. Am I messing up the name of it? I probably am.
No, Knob Creek is definitely the machine gun shoot.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Because I'm like, it's clicking with me. I'm like, I think I just saw an ad somewhere for it that was coming up in Kentucky here. Knob Creek, is it Knob Creek, Kentucky? Or just, I don't know what it is. I've never been to it, but it gets a lot of hype because it's a machine gun shoot. And I was like, man, that'd be kind of fun to go to.
There's a couple of them, but that's like the one that's the best known. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
If I don't have $3,000, I'm not going. I want $3,000 I can literally burn, or I'm not going.
Nice. Yeah, I can understand.
$500 for shooting and $2,500 for bourbon.
Well, yeah, I don't know. The ratio might be off, but it sounds like a good recipe.
Maybe one day you'll get to move to a free state. here where I'm at, machine guns are, from my understanding, for regular civilian, not an FFL, with the licensing, but for regular civilian, I don't think you can actually own a machine gun here in this state, if I understand laws correctly. So don't quote me, but I have seen that you can buy suppressors here, SBRs you can buy here, or build. You just got to do proper paperwork and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Definitely want to do a suppressor on a few different things, but that's down the road. I got some other projects, obviously, as you can see over here. All those cases are for the 50 States project and whatnot. But yeah, needless to say, definitely a worthwhile event to go to at the two-gun run over there at the range at 355, and that's in Bolingbrook, Illinois. For those out there watching or listening, and you can find out information. Matt's going to send me some links after the show. We'll put them in the description below the video, and I'll share them also over on Facebook and so forth as well.
He's got one up here already, Rick, on our side chat, our other one.
Oh, yep. I didn't even see that because I had a different. Oh yeah, there we go. Event sprout.com/event/2-gun-run-III. Which,
it is a little bit of a long one.
Yeah.
Would you like me to go through some of the prizes that we have?
Yes. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's get it.
Please do.
That.
So if you haven't already, there's a Facebook event page for it. So it is the Two Gun Run Pro/Am. It's really easy to be found. I'm just going to kind of rattle these off here with basically the companies and kind of a short list on what they're providing. Glock has come in as our premier sponsor for the event. Wow. They're donating to the prize table. Last match they provided, I think, 1 or 2 firearms. I think it was only just 1. This event, they are providing 5 pistols for the event.
Wow. Are any of them going to be the Gen 5?
I don't know. I don't know which ones they are yet. I think there's a certificate involved. I'm not sure if that certificate is it or not. But they've committed to 5 firearms, so we're very gracious on that aspect. So we're very excited for that. Right On USA, Right On Optics is going to be donating a couple scopes and some swag for the firearms or for the prize tables. Hyperfire donated quite a few triggers last time. We have gotten even more from them this time. I believe there's a total of 14 triggers and a couple of compensators on the prize table for them. I've got the Hyperfire ECL, the 24C, the 24 3G, and the EDT2 triggers, and then their 5.56 compensator. Also, we're going to be having one of the things that we're always trying to improve, obviously. So to kind of fight off some of the downtime, we got a company coming from Michigan called Milo Range Training Systems. So they're actually going to be setting up a virtual training environment, and we're going to be having it's a full 180-degree training environment that you step into. They primarily do a lot of police simulation trainings. So they're going to bring that out, and we're going to figure out they've got different scenarios and things for competitions.
So is that like a laser type trainer where you have like a gun that shoots a laser at a screen or something? Or
it is, yep. If you go onto their website or if you go onto the Grunt Style events event page for the event, it is like a different screen environment with CO2 powered blowback pistols and firearms. So I'm super excited to get my hands on that and try that out. And I think that's really going to be awesome.
So I wonder if that's like the Coolfire type setup. I don't know if you've seen the Coolfire adapters they're selling now.
I think it's pretty similar to that. I guess they are realistic, weighted pistols and firearms and things like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
when I was at SHOT Show, they had I don't know if it was the same company or not. They had a scenario set up similar like that where they had it was near the Troy Industries booth actually, where they had an AR that would have it used some sort of light technology, like a laser on it, but it also used these little like cartridges that I don't know if they were just CO2 filled or what. I don't really remember, but they would just cycle the actual. It was a real rifle, but with a different bolt in it, and used special ammo with an actual AR mag and everything. And it would cycle the action and eject the spent shell casings that were kind of like aluminum versus like a brass, I think.
That's the simunition type, maybe ultimate training munitions or something like that.
It might have been, but it didn't actually shoot a projectile. It was just a laser, though. Unlike the regular simunition you think about. Yeah, so it was interesting. Just basically, I think the laser was built in like either something on a rail or whatever. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but from my memory, it was a like an actual real rifle that they were using with a different bolt and special ammo for it that would like cycle. It may have just had like a primer in it or something. I'm not sure how they worked it, but it was pretty awesome. So I thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, so Matt, I mean, did you really your thoughts with Milo?
Oh, no worries, no worries. The next one that I want to talk about, Pete has actually seen it before I have. I haven't seen this prize yet, but CMMG has sent over some engraved rifles. They've got both the Grunt Style logo as well as the Mission 22 logo on there.
I may have a pic right here, Matt, that we could. I took some pictures the other day. Here's
Let me pull up my screen here so you can see it.
Oh, you rascal! I'm going to do it profile because otherwise it's going to flip. So you can see the Mission 22 and the Grunt Style logo on there.
Yeah, CMG makes some nice quality components and rifles. Definitely. That's very cool. Get that logo on there.
And I think that was the only one I took.
They got 2 rifles. Am I correct in saying that, Pete?
Yes.
So there's 2 rifles there. And then
didn't you say so? There's 2 rifles there, and you said that Glock also had what, 5?
5 pistols. Yep.
So that's 7 firearms right there between those 2 companies.
Matt, I might be wrong, but for some reason, I think one of them is a pistol caliber carbine.
Okay, awesome.
I'm not sure though, but both beautiful rifles.
Very cool. Another one that we have coming, they donated to the last match as well. Springfield Armory. They're going to be donating a pistol, an XDS, I believe, is what they said that they would be sending out to Pete for us.
You're up to eight firearms basically right now, is what you're saying.
Yep, and then the next one is Alex Pro Firearms out of Minnesota. They're going to be donating one of their APF match carbine rifles.
9?
Yeah.
9 firearms. I just keep counting them. That's awesome. And how many entrants is this limited to again?
It's limited to 100 entrants, and right now we're not even at that 100 yet.
So yeah, so if you max out, you were talking about a 1 in 10 chance basically at a firearm.
Well, don't forget, Rick, and it was Matt's idea, which was a really good idea that he talked about earlier. It's a pro-am.
Right. So you're not.
Well, you're right. 1 in 10 if there's 100 people, but there's it. What's good is, the amateurs aren't competing against a sandbagger.
Yep. Yeah, so the reason why we did it as a pro-am format is basically so that we're giving a couple of different options out there. We're going to split up the prize table. We haven't finalized everything on it yet. We're waiting to see kind of what the numbers look like. But the pro side, we'll be doing basically a prize table walk based on how you finish on the pro side.
Okay.
Obviously, first place will be able to walk through and pick out whatever they'd like first.
Which is very common with many bigger events, especially.
Yep.
Which is basically they have different levels of prizes, but they're all on a table. So someone who gets like you said, first pick at it, if they whatever they want off it, basically, as far as each package, I guess the way I kind of put it.
Yep. On the amateur side, it's going to be a random prize draw. So you come out, you enjoy some great barbecue, you get a Grunt Style T-shirt, you shoot a fun match, like I said, a dynamic range day, and then you get a random draw at a prize table. So you could finish dead last, but you could be the first person to walk through the prize table if you're lucky.
So in other words, anyone those firearms in a sense, or many of them, whichever ones are delegated to the amateur side, it's basically not based on how you finish, but random draw. So someone might get a chance, even if they finish last, to actually win a firearm.
That is correct.
That way,
that is awesome.
That way, the sandbagging is completely prevented.
Yep.
Right, and that $100 right there that it costs to get in, well worth it. How many times do we get like an ad from different organizations like, hey, buy this raffle ticket, $10 or whatever, to win a rifle or or whatever. Think about that. You're getting food. You're getting a chance at winning a firearm. I don't know what kind of door prizes. You haven't really gotten to that yet, if there's door prizes or not. But it sounds like there's going to be a lot of different things to be won and given away. And then you also get the great experience of the match.
Yeah, and the camaraderie. Nothing like the camaraderie of a match and feeling that match pressure. And with your, when we squad people up, Rick, from being a competitor, seeing the camaraderie of everybody exchanging ideas and doing the walkthroughs and all that. And you know what? I know I've said this before on the show, but Matt, last time, what were we? We were in the 30s and 40s, and people were winning 3-packs of hex mags.
Yep.
Yeah, that is awesome.
It's a pretty damn good prize. I mean, not to mention the guns, but a shot at 14 hyperfire triggers. I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there. And hey, one thing too, if you don't want to compete, like Matt said, we've got Johnny Van, who's a great patriot, coming to do barbecue with Marine Corps Jeff this time. And so great barbecue, great camaraderie.
Will there be T-shirts too?
There will, yes.
Match T-shirts.
So you're getting a T-shirt, you're getting food, you're getting an awesome match, you're getting a chance at winning a prize regardless of where you finish.
And
how can you not want to go? 4 Roses sampling.
Brian Krieger, our good friend, will be there sponsoring again, and he's gonna. Last time he had a special spring cocktail for us, so that was a big hit set up. And then, hey Matt.
Yep.
Tell them about our guest pro shooters that are coming.
So Shane Coley from the Glock shooting team will be there again. And
awesome.
This time we got Tori Nonaka, who will be stopping by, and will be out there. And I think both of them are going to kind of walk through and give a little class while we're tallying up scores at the end of the day. So they're actually going to run through a little bit of a little course of fire. So there's a spectator ticket involved as well, which will get you barbecue and a T-shirt. So if it is something that you don't want to shoot the match, you just want to come out and take a look at it, you're getting barbecue, you're getting a T-shirt, and you're getting the opportunity to learn from some of the best in the industry. So it's really a great opportunity to take advantage of all of that's being offered.
And you can't put a price point on that knowledge for sure.
Exactly.
And that's just it's basically, when you look at it, that $100 you're going to spend. Some people might think, oh man, it's $100. No, there's a lot to offer with this. There really is. More so than what you're going to get out of most matches, especially not saying this in the wrong way, but an indoor type match where basically it's different. Outdoor, where you're going to a big facility with a bunch of ranges and there's a whole bunch of targets set up and it's a huge big thing. No, this is a lot to offer for what you would find at any other facility with 2 bays.
Well, and what's cool is because our bays are 35 feet wide, so we have to be really creative, and that's kind of the cool part, is that we can run 2 stages in a 35-foot bay. Typically we run a stage at a time and kind of change it up a little bit, but the fact that we have to be creative and fit that in makes it that much more fun. Hey, and also one thing for the range at 355, we've been running a sale, and the sale will continue through the 30th, so may not be running when we do the match. I may throw it back on again. Right now we've got all Glocks, 15% off.
Does that include the Gen 5?
Not the Gen 5s.
I'm going to ask that every time.
Not Gen 5s. But we got some cool. We got some 17 and 19 compensated. We've got the summer special with the serrated slide up at the front. We have even got a 17 long slide on sale right now. You could check it out. A bunch of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are up on our store on the range355.com webpage. as well.
Very cool. Awesome deal. I know that I was gonna say the the Glocks is nice stuff, you know. What else to say about it? Hey,
You know
Thomas,
what, they run.
Sorry, Pete.
Yeah, they run. You could beat the hell out of them and they run.
Right. I mean, that's why I'm building that second one that I put together. Or I say buildings, I'm make some changes to it and whatnot. But yeah, I've got two Glock 19s myself right now, Gen 4s. Of course, right after I bought the second Gen 4, the Gen 5 came out. Although I will say this, I mean, the Gen 5 is nice and everything, and you look at it and I'm like, yeah, it's got a lot of cool subtle changes and everything, but I'm so accustomed to the Gen 4 now that it wouldn't be a big leap to me. I will say, however, with the 17, I haven't liked the 17 so far, whether it was a Gen 3 or a Gen 4, just for whatever reason, just how it felt in my hand, whatever. But the Gen 5, I like it a little bit more than I like the predecessors of the Glock 17. So who knows? Maybe there'll be one of those in the future one day here. But I know, Thomas, you've been kind of quiet.
I'm just listening.
Poor dude hasn't had a chance.
Yeah, that's right. You guys talk too much.
So what's been up in your neck of the woods there?
I wanted to add something about your guys' event. I don't know specifics about your event, but going to any sort of competition and having the timer-inducing stress and competing against your buddies, and really taking the time to learn your equipment, having malfunctions with your equipment and under pressure having to work through them from a practical point of view, going to these types of competitions for that educational value, learning your gear. If you don't have high-end competition stuff, who cares? Go with your carry pistol. I mean, if you're the type of person that carries a concealed firearm, that's what you're going to have on you in a situation under the most stress you're ever going to be in under your life. You need to know that equipment like the back of your hand. And other than actually being in the thick of it, this is going to be the closest kind of training that you can get to really learn that equipment under the stress. So for that reason, it makes sense to go to these types of events.
And Thomas, I agree 100%. You know, we in our SWAT days at State Police, we would do equipment check after equipment check to make sure our gear was all running. And, you know, might as well have that surprise before. And we're going to be doing a blog post on our website about exactly what you're talking about. The preparation, nothing like that match pressure, exactly what you said. And in the preparation of one's gear in the real world, whether it's, you know, for home defense, training, or for a SWAT or a military team, one of the most important things people do. And what's interesting, and I know you have the same experience with your training company, we see people come in to do quals that just don't know.
Right.
And so the competition part of it, and that's kind of the gist of our blog post, is the competition part of it is so important to get your gear in order because it's life.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's one of the things I've thought about lately is just for fun, you know, taking out my Glock 19 and using that for some of these matches, just to go out and use it. You know, I'm not a super strong competitor where I'm going to be looking at getting in first place, you know, but I enjoyed going out to these events and, like I said, the match pressure or getting the timer going and just seeing how well I can do for my own abilities. And I thought about mixing it up. So using my SIG 226 I have with a, you know, really nice Gray Guns trigger in it. But going to using my Glock 19 with just a factory trigger in it, you know, basically my factory Glock 19, just run it and see how I can do with it. Because that's, like you said, that's your carry. For my case, anyway, it's my carry pistol, and want to be able to make sure that, you know, you can go through with the stress and handle it, you know, and everything.
Yeah, I don't think enough people shoot their carry pistols enough. They might send a magazine through it. It's small size, maybe a pocket pistol. It hurts their hand. And then they switch to their big fancy Shogun. And that's fine. You should be familiar with all your firearms. But, you know, more than a magazine a month, definitely you need to do more than that.
Oh, yeah. In fact, you mentioned the small pocket pistols. You know, Laura picked up a Glock 43, nice purple one, by the way. But I like actually shooting it. It's not a bad little pistol, believe it or not. And I was surprised that, you know, for you know, I've shot a few different smaller pistols like that. And you're like, man, this sucks. It's hard to, like, you know, hit anything with it or hit what I want to hit, you know, because it's just a small sight radius, lots of recoil, you know, whatever the case might be. But going to that Glock 43, man, I'm like, I can actually shoot this thing. I feel like it's just a little bit smaller than my Glock 19 in a sense, you know, and kind of cool. But what was I going to add to that? I had something else in our thought, I forgot. But oh, I know what it was. Training. You mentioned about how people come out. I think, and said that maybe they're not quite, how I word it, maybe not quite prepared or ready for what they're going to do at the training and the qualification. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I've taken a couple concealed carry classes because, you know, from Illinois, so I took the Illinois concealed carry, and before that, I took the Florida and Utah, you know, concealed carry classes and all that. So I've had some different classes and different exposure, different scenarios. And from my vague recollection of the qualifications for my previous ones, you know, I know one of them we were shooting in different booths, so I couldn't really see what other people were doing because it was indoor range. But this most recent one for North Carolina, which I'm in the process of getting, basically the company that I was doing my training with, or my concealed carry class and whatever with, when we did our qualifications, at an outdoor range, private outdoor range. So there isn't like booths, you know. So they had everybody on their own one long firing line. Well, not everybody, but, you know, just a certain X amount of number of people. I think there's 8 total, like 4 on one side and 4 on the other. And they were kind of overseeing how everyone was handling their firearms. And, you know, you see a couple of people with like revolvers and things. And it's like they didn't go to the range before to practice with the firearm. They weren't comfortable with it, but they wanted to take a class to defend themselves, which is a great idea. Great to do that, but as I said, they weren't prepared, and that was kind of a sad thing because you're watching people with, like, you know, who are out there with different, like I said, different firearms, pistols, and different things like snub nose or a larger revolver, or I'm not trying to pick on women or anything, but there was a lady, that's the only reason why I'm mentioning it, that had this this pistol. She couldn't rack the slide on her pistol. That was like, okay. Why did you pick that firearm if you can't operate it?
Well, if I can jump in, I want to say that is a failure of the instructor, in my opinion. He's there to instruct, not just to qualify.
Right.
Qualifications are for renewals. This is the, you know, for the first in Illinois 16 hour, you know, when I do my classes, we spend basically half of it 8 hours on law. That's the second day. The first day is all about firearm operation, and we do a lot of hands-on in the classroom. And then when we get to the firing line, you know, and it's live fire, I'm there not just to qualify, but to instruct. And generally speaking, the way I'll do it is I'll know after the first day, after we've done the hands-on and the manipulation and show me load, show me unload, etc., I'll know who has the familiarity anyway with the firearm, and it's not a hard qualification. So I'll let the guys I think are going to ace it go first, and then that leaves me time at the end to work with the more novice people, myself or one of my assistant instructors, working with them, teaching them, okay, stop, slow down, you know, keep your eyes on the sights. Make sure they're aligned. Slow press on the trigger. 1 pound, 2 pound. Let the bang surprise you. And really just honing in their abilities to find out what their flaws are, to focus the fundamentals. It's like I said, it's not just qualification. It's instruction and training, or at least it should be for that first license. For the renewal, it should, at that point, it should be a breeze. Everyone should be in and out. They should be practicing. They should be training. I know that's not going to be the case when renewals come up here next year, but in theory, it should be a breeze. The first one, you really got to spend some time.
Something you said too, I do like, is that you mentioned you let the people who you believe have the experience level go first to kind of get them through it.
Yeah, get them out of the way.
Yeah, one of the things.
So I was going to add to that, like the class that I was taking for my concealed carry here. And I'm not knocking. I think it was a very good class, and it has a lot of great information and everything. There wasn't a lot of emphasis on, you know, handling your firearm. It was basically just the qualification portion, because it wasn't a pistol class, like, you know, to learn how to shoot a pistol. It was strictly a concealed carry class.
And one of the things we see in the store, and Bobby's on, from Tactical Edge. And he could probably have similar experiences. You know, with the growth of women in the sport, which is or our industry, I should say, not just sport, but which is a great thing because we all have the right to defend ourselves. But what we see is maybe the male partner has a little bit more experience or maybe a lot more. So, you know, a trip for us to the gun store to convince our wives to buy a gun we want, to get one of those off the checklist, we see it all the time.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, hey, you know, my wife wants a gun. Hey, honey, check out this CZ75. Check out this 1911, you know.
And she might not have any clue what he's recommending for her.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, so that's where I didn't do that with Laura, of course. You know, I wanted her to go through and try out as many as she could try out and see what worked best for her. But maybe down the road I might find myself doing that. I can't
see that in my classes. I see that in my classes all the time. Like you said, you see it in the gun store because people are buying them. But once they buy them, they come to the class and, okay, what'd you bring? Oh, well, I got this compact 40 caliber. Okay, why'd you buy that? Well, my husband says that anything that starts with the 4 is defensive round. All right, and then we get to the qualification, and I had one. It was funny because the husband was shooting in 1911, and the wife had a 40 cal. I think it was a Glock. I don't remember. And both of them were just all over the place. Well, the wife actually didn't pass her first qualification. And the second time I said, you know what, here, try my Glock 34. And she kept groups as tight as a fist, which was great for a person who has shot like 3 or 4 times in their life. And I told the husband, I said, you can't let your ego get in the way of her firearm selection.
Right.
You never buy a firearm for someone. That's just the worst thing you can do. You know, people ask all the time, I'm sure Pete's been through this, what's the best gun for concealed carry? Well, I don't know. I can tell you what works for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. That,
yeah, and you know, I kind of worded it the same way. I had a friend ask me that recently on Facebook. He's like, oh, I see you're a firearms enthusiast now. You know, we're looking for something for defense, you know, for myself. And what's the best one I should buy at a moderate price?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's so many. What's the best one that works for you?
The questions I'll ask, exactly. What feels good to your hand, but what time of year? How are you going to carry it? You know, is it going to be wearing a suit? Is it going to be on your ankle? Is it going to be appendix, kidney, outside the waistband, inside the waistband? You know, there's a million questions.
So I wanted to mention this too. As you mentioned earlier, a little while ago, Bobby's out there watching in the chat from Tactical Edge Arms. He said they're giving away a builder's box and have some bolt carrier groups and other stuff for the prize table.
Yep, I haven't even gotten to his prizes yet.
We kind of got derailed a little bit off of it. If you want to continue on a little bit, Matt, and kind of tell a little bit more.
Yeah, he was actually one of the next one. So I don't know if you guys are too familiar, if the listeners out there are too familiar with the builder's box. But
we had actually had him on the show and talked about it. I think it was last week or week before. I forget now. Yeah, awesome. The builder's box is an awesome concept. I'll sum it up real short for you. Basically, you can pick out a rifle that you want from Tactical Edge Arms, and what they do is kind of like instead of doing a layaway, you actually buy it like a subscription. The first box you get is going to be like your upper and lower receiver set and the tools to assemble it. And then, you know, from there you get another box with, you know, the next month with more parts. So you can set it up to be different levels. Like if you want it to last, I forget what the durations were, but like, it's up to 12 months maybe. I think.
Yep, you get remember 3, 6, 9, or 12 months.
There you go. And that way you can, like, you know, build this rifle yourself, and they're going to put videos up on YouTube for each step of the builder's box for that particular rifle that you picked out. And the best part of it is it carries their lifetime warranty, even with you assembling it yourself at home.
Yep.
That's incredible.
When I first saw that Bobby was doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, you're a genius.
Awesome.
That's the best thing I've heard.
Yeah, that is brilliant.
So let's keep going, Matt.
Yeah, so we got a case of 9mm and a case of 223 frangible ammo from Centerfire. Nice. It's actually the Team Never Quit ammo, so it's a frangible ammo. So they do some product demonstrations with it. It's unbelievable. I mean, shooting steel from 2-3 feet away. I mean, usually you see people who shoot steel on a normal basis, and you're shooting it, from 25 yards to 100 yards if it's a rifle round. But to see the frangible shot that close, it's really amazing. They won't be out there, but we'll have that ammo out there.
Yeah, and you know what? Anybody that's shot steel has been hit on some part of their body.
Yep.
With a little splashback.
Hey, I saw one of our shooters who actually lives out here in North Carolina at one of the last regional matches I went to for 3GunNation. There was a guy shooting a shotgun stage, and he shot the guy who was shooting shot a steel target with his shotgun, which is what he's supposed to do, I believe. I don't think it was supposed to be a bird shot necessarily, but a chunk of that lead crossed the I don't remember exactly how many feet it was, but there's a roadway, like at least a 2-car roadway between these two ranges. Like, one range is facing the left, one's facing the right. And this thing hit him all the way across the range road where he was sitting at a bench at the other range.
Wow.
And not in the best spot of his body, that's all I'm going to say, but it kind of knocked him pretty good for a minute there.
Oh, I bet.
But anyway, so as Pete said, shooting steel, you get some splashback sometimes.
Hey, real quick, if I can, I just want to say hi to my friend Mark Haskett. He said he's watching.
Mark
Thanks, posted over here.
Oh, did he over on Gun Channels?
He said, "Hey, Thomas." Hey, also, Matt, a Range at 355 annual membership too. That's a $500 prize.
Yeah, another great one there. And then I received 2 huge boxes from shootsteel.com for the prize table. I've got a couple of target holders, as well as knockdown popper targets.
Very cool.
So those are awesome prizes. We had American Defense Manufacturing. They laser engraved some scope mounts with so they did an FDE scope mount with the Grunt Style logo, and they did a black scope mount with the Mission 22 logo, and they turned out awesome.
Great company. They make some awesome stuff. We had the pleasure of visiting their facility almost 2 years ago, I want to say now.
Okay.
As part of the 50 States projects. There's a video on that as well on my channel. Great people, great facility, great products. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about them.
Very cool. Applied Arsenal Finishes out of, I believe, Waterman, Illinois.
Show sponsor, correct?
Yeah, they are donating a full rifle Cerakote job and a full pistol Cerakote job.
Nice.
If you see my old Glory rifle, that's who did it.
Awesome.
They do beautiful. In fact, Cerakote uses that photo for one of their stock photos now.
Oh, awesome. Very cool. Very cool. LAG Tactical is donating another $500 gift certificates. They primarily do different holsters and belt wears. So if you don't have that equipment, then you can win a gift certificate for it. So
they're getting a lot of good reviews on their gear too.
Yeah,
they are. They are actually the ones that manufacture the Grunt Style holsters that we have.
Yeah, I know Bobby carries them down in Clarksville and has rave reviews for them.
Yep,
absolutely.
And
I didn't even know you guys had holsters till today.
Yep, we do. They're on the Grunt Style Outdoors page. You should be able to find them on there. And then SSP Eyewear, they're donating 4 $50 gift certificates. One of their really unique products, they have a bifocal safety lens for shooters. So they have a top focal and they have a bottom focal lens as well. So it's a really cool product if you were needing something like that. And then the most recent prize that has arrived at the office has been a goodie box from Vortex Optics.
Whoa!
Oh, nice.
And they sent a very, very gracious package. They sent 2 Strike Eagle optics. They sent 2 Strike Fire red dots.
That's what I run.
They sent 2 Crossfire binos.
Wow.
And they sent 2 of the Solo RT binoculars.
Nice.
You
Very
know
nice.
what? And I got to tell you, you know, I run a Razor HD Gen 2 on one of my ARs. The glass on it's fantastic, but the binoculars, the Crossfire binoculars, you would be shocked at how good the glass is on a $100 pair of their binoculars. It's fantastic.
That's good to know.
There was quite a few people in the office around me as I was opening that package. That I was worried about some sticky fingers, but we got it all locked up before anybody could run off with any of them. So that's everything that has been has arrived at our offices. It's been like Christmas for the last couple of weeks.
I was just going to say, did I miss the fall? Because it sure sounds like Christmas.
I've been
That's
opening
awesome.
different like presents every day. It seems every
That's
day
gonna
I've
be
got more projects that or more items that are coming in.
Matt's going to be like with the company with the big bag going ho ho ho.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know that a couple things that I have coming in. James has actually been on your show from CYA Concealment.
Trying to think, why is my mind going blank on that? I'm
They
sure he
do
has.
the high speed shooting stabilizers.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. James
They're-
Renteria. Duh. Why is it took me a second to click because I'm thinking of CYA Concealment is his new backpacks.
Yeah,
I always think of James as like the shooting stabilizer with the Fang.
Rick, there's a
absolutely.
few second delay coming from the Midwest to the East Coast. That's why.
Could be. That's right. I know you guys are all Midwest, and I'm out here East Coast time.
So we've got some items coming from James and his companies. One of those being the backpack. So I'm very excited
Sweet.
to see that. And then as well as the Fang and the stabilizer as well. So
And for those that haven't seen that backpack, it's basically like a body armor type backpack that's totally concealed. Has a lot of storage compartments, I think, if I remember correctly, in it, so you can store, some of your tactical gear, or even use it like a regular backpack, throw your laptop, your books, whatever in it. And it just unfolds real quick and turns into, front, I think it's front and back. I believe you can have plates in it.
Yep.
When I say plates, I'm not sure if it's for like steel plates, but there's that lightweight body armor that they also carry as well that goes into like I don't know what the heck it's made out of anymore. Can't even think, but it's an awesome setup.
yeah, so we're excited on getting those. I know he sent me some tracking info for that, and then Hex Mag is going to come through again. They've got some magazines and some goodies on the way, and then Loophole is sending a box of goodies as well. So I mean,
And Matt, I'm still working with one manufacturer, as you know. They're interested. They haven't gotten back to me. Hopefully, we could still pull that off.
yeah, that'd be great.
Might even have more guns for the price they will.
Wow, that's
So
awesome.
I mean, yeah. So we're right now where we're sitting. If it were to sell out, you essentially have a 1 in 10 chance in winning a firearm, and if you don't win a firearm, you're still gonna walk home with a great prize. I mean,
Yeah, it seems like everyone's getting something.
yeah.
The value is there whether you get any prizes or not.
I love my grunt style match T-shirts when we get them.
Yep.
Yeah, they're always that's always a hot commodity as well, because if you don't get it at the range, you can't get it anywhere else. So to buy it's one of those buy now or for forever miss out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, so we're excited. I feel that everyone will get the value out of their $100 well spent, and considering that there's going to be proceeds donated to a good cause, it's only better.
Yeah, definitely. It's good that it's going to a good cause, and you're getting a huge benefit both ways. It's the person who's spending that money, and the people that are receiving it are going to be able to get a benefit out of that as well.
And you said this was October 7th, right?
October 7th.
Correct.
Yep. So coming up a week from this Saturday.
Yep.
Hey, Rick, I know we're getting toward the end here, and one of my friends is down doing a security detail in Puerto Rico right now.
Oh, wow.
And you know, so we saw how the country came together for Texas and for Florida, but 3.5 million Americans in the Caribbean are right now. I got to show you guys a picture for Matt and the other Marines out there. Here's a buddy of mine in the background. You could see the Osprey propellers.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
The Marine Corps was down delivering supplies, but you could see this friend of mine in the picture. He sent me a picture, sent me a video of them driving. It looks like a nuclear wasteland, man. I mean, it stripped that island so bad. And he said, you know, the Puerto Rican people feel like they've been forgotten there. And I know it takes a little time to mobilize to cover that distance from the mainland to the island. But if you have a chance to donate to the relief for Puerto Rico right now, they are FUBAR. He told me 12 hours to wait in line for gas and you get $20 worth of gas,
and that's if there's any there, because I've got family over there, and I set up a GoFundMe for one of my cousins. He lost his roof, his first floor flooded, he lost everything, and he says, yeah, his generator runs out of gas. He goes to the gas station, they wait all day, and oh, sorry, we're out of gas, come back tomorrow, we might have more.
Yeah. And Thomas, this friend of mine, said they run the generator and they've got diesel generators, so they probably get a little bit better mileage out of it. But he said they run the generators 2 or 3 hours a day just to charge up their equipment.
Sure.
And he said, man, people are hurting down there.
It's terrible. And like you said, though, it does take some time to mobilize. They're not forgotten, but it's a bad situation. It is. The water's still there in some of these neighborhoods. It's not draining away. There's nowhere for it to go. A lot of the communities in the mountains are completely cut off just because there's no way to get to them, down trees, down power lines. There's no communications, so it's bad. It's like a zombie apocalypse minus the zombies.
Yeah, here's the video. You could see the trees in that.
Yeah,
it looks like a nuclear wasteland in the back.
Man,
and he was saying San Juan is one thing, but he said, you know, a big part of the population is rural, and they're really cut off from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you have a chance to help out, you know, that's a good thing.
Definitely. So, yeah, as I said, we're getting to the end here. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. You know, again, a big thank you to all you out there who have been watching and those who have been commenting on the live chat and whatnot, and also to those that might be watching this in the future as it's recorded and leaving comments below the video. We appreciate that feedback. We're always looking for different ideas and different thoughts and things to share with everybody. So keep the ideas coming and the questions and the comments flowing and all that stuff. Again, I'm just going to go across the board here. Thomas, do you have anything you want to wrap up with tonight?
The last thing I want to add is the day after your guys' event, the Illinois Gun Owners Together Facebook group is just having a little get-together at the Buffalo Range in Ottawa, Illinois. So if you're a member of that group, come on out. We had about 50 people last time. We're hoping to have maybe about the same, a little bit more.
About 51?
Yeah, 51, maybe a little more. It's just, you know, we go to, it's a nice outdoor range, and they have the pit. If you've never shot at the pit, you got to try it at least
They actually
once.
opened it again?
Pit's been open for at least a year, if not a little longer.
I remember a while back they were talking about that not being open.
It was closed. It was part of the agreement with the state attorney general for reopening, but they got it reopened. There's a few more rules than there used to be before pretty much anything went. Now, you know, there's a few rules. You can mag dump, you can rapid fire, but you got to keep tighter groups than you did before. No metal targets. Before, you can shoot refrigerators and anything else you wanted. Now no metal targets. So, yeah, so that's on the 8th, and we're just, like I said, the Illinois Gunner Together Facebook group. We're just hanging out, having a good time. That's about it.
Cool. Awesome. Good to know. Matt, you anything else you want to wrap up with?
I don't think so. I think I spoke everything throughout the course of the show. So I think I
appreciate it. Thanks for being out with us.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact Grunt Style. You're going to get routed to me on the event, and I hope anybody who was questioning or didn't know about the event has the opportunity to come out and see it.
Yeah, even just go as a spectator if you're curious about what the shooting competition is going to be like and so forth. Go and come out, and there's a small fee for that, so you get lunch and stuff, and go get some food, hang out, check out what they got going on, and then maybe next time, if you don't want to do it this time, join in and do some shooting.
Absolutely.
Definitely worth checking out. So thanks, Matt, for being on with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Likewise. So Pete, you got anything else you want to wrap up with?
Yeah, thanks to Grunt Style and all the sponsors involved with this match. We know, talking to people and being out there and seeing how much fun everybody has. Like I said, the camaraderie and the great prize tables. The sponsors have been really gracious. So, we definitely appreciate that.
Very cool. Likewise, I appreciate all those that support the shooting sports, and I appreciate all you guys out there again who watched and listened to what we have going on every week, and those that follow along with the different projects we have going. And big thanks to all the companies we have involved with the 50 States AR-15, which you'll see in the videos and on the 50 States AR-15 Facebook page, on the BigGunner81 Instagram, and of course we're working on that new website or WordPress site for the 50 States of AR-15 project. So hopefully we'll get that going. You guys will see some more cool stuff on there. And as always, as we always say every show, until next time, have fun shooting.
Have fun shooting.
Have fun shooting, everybody.